Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Donkey Kong Country. My name is Shadow HB3 and I'm ready to entertain. And yes, you are looking at your video screen correctly. No need to adjust it, not like you can. Except for the quality anyways. But Gorilla Glacier has been completed and before we even begin this episode. So let me go ahead and quickly explain to you why, for those of you that didn't follow me on Twitter explaining as to why this is. I had pre-recorded this episode in advance before I took the little break to get ready for the Let's Play Gaming Expo. So that way I would have all the parts I needed and I could just get right to editing right from the get-go after I recovered from that weekend. But I discovered that somehow, I don't know how or what caused me to do it, but I ended up erasing my footage for this episode, and of course I had already saved my progress up until that point, so I'm now at the point where of course I would have either had to play back to where we would be at this point in both this version and the GBA version, or I could just do what I plan on doing right now, and that's just do a playthrough every single level and just show you where everything that you need is, in this case the photographs in the GBA version. So I think that would be much more convenient for you all, much more convenient for me as well too, so I don't waste much more time trying to get these videos out to you all. So I think we'll just make the most of it and see how things roll. So that said, we'll go ahead and continue on playing through the second half of Gorilla Glacier. We'll start off with the fourth level, in this game anyways, Octopus Chase. It's actually the third level in the GBA version, if you're keeping score at home. So, since we're playing another water level where there's no bonus levels, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Diddy, since I already completed this level with Donkey Kong, not that it'll change. So that way we can try to get through this level a little bit quicker. So the gimmick in this level is that these blue Rocktopus, once you pass by them, they will start to chase you, and they actually do move pretty fast. Like, you would have to be moving pretty quick in order to get that banana bunch right there, but for me it's not worth it, so I just decided to give it up. I mean, you could ideally probably let the Octopus pass you in some cases and then go back and get it, but still. And then the other thing that's new about this level are those little jellyfish that kind of move in a diagonal kind of pattern, swerving back and forth, or left and right I should say. Those are called squidges. They can be hard to pick up in this level because of the fact that they blend in so well with the coral surroundings here. Now here's something pretty cool. If you want to get the golden letter O in this game, what you're going to have to do is swim through this part of the coral right here after you pass through those auto fire barrels. The O will be right there. It's pretty easy to miss if you're not aware of where things are in this game, or this, at least in this particular level. I know this is just a long underwater maze, pretty much, where we just have to outswim blue Roctopuses, and that's really about it. I mean, it can be a little bit tough if you're not quick with the swimming. Now, before we do continue, just so you know, normally when you see these arrow signs, that lets you know that an exit is pretty close, or you're pretty close to the exit. We just got the save point, and we're just now encountering an arrow. Just keep that in mind for a brief, temporarily. Store it in your memory bank, because I want to show you all something pretty interesting or pretty unique about this level once we get to the exit. You may already know what it is, some of you, but I just want to point it out. Here, if you want, better move, otherwise I get out of the way. That's how you can sometimes dodge or let Octopuses go by, and somehow he just disappeared out of thin air. But you saw there was a Winky token down there if you want to get it. But that was really about it. Let's see. Oh, shnikes. Oh, these chomps. They can be a pain sometimes, especially in this part. Usually don't like swimming with Donkey Kong anyways, just because he doesn't move nearly as fast as Diddy, and he's a little bit bigger of a target, especially for those narrow areas, but I think we'll be able to certainly rectify that since we have a DK barrel here. Now, of course, just like with every other underwater level, you can get on guard in this level. This one's a little bit longer, and you don't get them until after I think you get past this portion right here. So let the Rocktopus go by. You want to go to the left side where there's an opening here. There's actually a red life balloon here that you can grab before it floats away. But down in this corner is where you'll find Unguard in this level. And so now we don't have to worry about tapping rapidly on the B button in my case to swim. I can just kind of keep things rolling with Unguard. And he swims pretty fast, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you need to do a quick jab to give yourself a little boost of speed, you can do that. It's actually pretty beneficial. I find in the GBA version, he doesn't move nearly as fast. I think I explained that earlier. But anyways, you know how I mentioned before that there is an arrow sign? Well, guess what? Here's another one. This level is unique in the fact that it's the only level, from what I understand, that has 2 arrow signs in it. Every single arrow or every single level that you normally encounter in this game only has 1 arrow sign. So I just thought that was pretty cool to point out. Those squidges can be tough if you don't have Unguard on hand, but it shouldn't be a big deal. And unfortunately, we don't get to see the victory dance for completing the level since we already did it, but instead we get to zoom over to the other half of Gorilla Glacier. Now, of course, like I mentioned before, there are photographs that, since I already grabbed them in the GBA version, I can't re-grab them, of course, since I had already saved my game, but the very least I can do is show you where they're located. So let's go ahead and cut to the GBA version for the first time this episode, and I will show you how to get the photograph in Octopus Chase. I'll see you guys there in just a moment. Okay guys, so here we are in the GBA version of Octopus Chase, and we are a little ways past the midway point at this level, right after where you hit the continue barrel. So in the SNES version, I'm sure you all recognize that there are 2 auto fire barrels that will fire up out of this point. Here in this case there is only 1. If you go back down here, you should be able to go through without having to fire yourself back in it. There's a little opening right here to the left. You'll want to actually go ahead and swim this way. You'll find the photograph here, but the thing you'll just of course need to be aware of is the fact that there are 2 Rocktopus's guarding this area. So just swim in with Diddy, collect it, and you should be good to go, no problem. That will be our 26th photograph of this version of the game, so we are halfway done with collecting them all. So that is how you get the photograph, and with that we will go ahead and continue our adventure in the SNES version. I'll see you guys there in just a moment. Okay, so now that we showed where the photograph would have been had you not collected it for the first time, let's go ahead and continue on and play the 5th level of this world, Torchlight Trouble. This is actually the last level in the GBA version, as it switched places with the final level as well. But we're back in the caves, as you can see, and it's pretty dark, probably the darkest we've been in. Man, it's so dark in here. Sure would be nice to have someone be able to light up the cave so we can see where we're going. Hey, wait, what's this? Let's take out this clump first. Alright, yep, you can see there's an animal crate here with a bird. If you reveal it, or open it up, it will reveal our final animal buddy of this game, Squawks the Parrot. He helps light up this cave by holding a torchlight in his talons, and he will help guide us through this dark and scary cave, which is very convenient because I don't know if you could actually complete. I'm sure you could complete this level without him, no problem, but he is much more convenient to have rather than to not have him. So, thing to note here, of course, you can turn back and forth. I think it's much brighter when you see that the screen lights up completely white in this game. I think they dimmed it down in the virtual consoles because they knew that it'd be easy to get a seizure if you keep turning back and forth like that. The only other things that I should point out in this game, or in this level, this level is infested with clumps and crushes, so it's best to have DK deal with them and not Diddy Kong. We're also introduced to these oil drums that spew fire, and then I think there's also one other non-enemy that also I will introduce you all here to in just a moment, but here's where you get your first of 2 bonus levels, is right up against this wall. And when I tried to do this the first time, I failed to get an extra life, so I'm gunning for it this time, and I should have no problems. Thank goodness. I was going to say, if I messed that up, I would have not forgiven myself. But But no, there is one other level, or one other enemy in this level that is introduced, and we get brought back to right here when we get dropped off. So these are called Minsters. They are these spiked tires that just rotate in place. They serve no purpose in this game other than to just be an annoyance. I find it interesting that they don't have any artwork in this game, or artwork from Rare at all, even though they're an enemy that can hurt you, like what it did to me in DK. I don't even know if I'll be able to finish this level here, especially considering that we're right near the very end. We'll see. This is why it really helps to have DK here, because you can take care of these crushes no problem. But anyways, it looks like we're going to have to finish this level without DK. So here's the exit right here. This level's not very long at all, as you can see. It stinks that we only get to see Squawks for this temporary moment. But before we leave the caves, let's go ahead and hug up the barrel against this wall and get this bonus level. Make sure you grab the barrel before you come down here. Don't destroy it, otherwise you'll have to come back to that point, so that way you can get that again. Now, of course, you can see the golden letter G right here. The only way you have a chance you have of getting it is if you spring off the clap trap and jump up to the top of the entrance and get it that way. So it's really all there is to show in this level. Like I said, I just hate that this is the only time that we get to see Squawks in this game. Whoa, did you guys see that? It was almost as if I'm so used to seeing these clap traps like stand in place after they get hit, and that one just kind of just backed off like several feet. And you get a Granby token, which you can see after you complete it. What I may want to do is just for fun, down the road, quickly complete the Granby bonus level. But anyways, yep, time to say goodbye to Squawks after saying hello to him. Thankfully, he gets a bigger role in the games to follow this one, so he'll enjoy his minor role for now, but we'll see him back, and he'll be much more useful in the games to follow. But that is Torchlight Trouble in a nutshell, and so before we completely abandon this level, I will show you all where to get the photograph, since there is one that can be obtained in this game. Or not in this game, but in the GBA version of this game, I should say. So I'll cut over there and I'll show you all how to get that. So see you guys over there in just a moment. Okay guys, here we are in the GBA version of Torchlight Trouble, right at the exit. As you can see clearly here, just above the exit here, the photograph is floating. And from what I understand, this is actually relatively tough to get if you're not able to take a huge leap, but you can get this photograph relatively easy, contrary to popular belief. So that's easily how you get that photograph. I'll switch to Diddy just for the heck of it, but we're done here. So let's exit Torchlight Trouble and get back to the SNES version and continue on. Okay guys, we are back, and I went ahead and got Donkey Kong back because it's much better to have two Kongs rather than one. So let's go ahead and continue on. We'll play through the final level of this world, Rope Bridge Rumble, which of course if you're playing the GBA version it would be the 5th level of this world. So, but in any case, this is going to be the final for a number of things. First off, this is actually the final Treehouse level in the game. Hate that there's only 2 in this game just because I like the music here. I know this is our final Treehouse level. It's also going to be the final time we're going to see one particular animal buddy here as well, and you'll see here once in a moment just after we complete this bonus level. Yes, it is Wiki the Frog. And while I say Winky, we're going to miss him because it's the only time we ever see him in this game. The only thing I hate about this level using him, I mean, he can be much more, he's very useful in this game, or in this particular level, just because of the fact that there are zingers, but I almost feel like in any case you may not necessarily want to use him because he has a hard time staying on these tires for some particular reason, and you just want to make sure that before you start moving that you get a good hop. Otherwise, if you're not careful, you will not completely spring off the tire and you will end up falling off. And I've done that several times now, so I'm going to do the best I can to keep him because he, like I said, this is the only other time we see him in this game. And so I want to make sure that he has his appearance in full and he gets his full time to shine here in this final level, and I better not lose him. And you know what? I don't even know why I'm trying to get back up on this tire. Those bananas are not worth it. So I'm just going to play a little conservatively and not try to take any big necessary risks. Although it can be tough here, especially in these parts once we get to where these tires are that keep moving on these platforms. They can be messy if you're not careful with your precision on your jumping. I don't even know why I'm not even... See, it's like moments like these where I feel like, ask myself, why am I even using Wiki the Frog to begin with when I don't even plan on taking out these zingers anyways? You know, it just almost makes it feel like it's a little bit more of a chore trying to keep a hold of him than it is to just than not having him to begin with. But like I said, this is his only other appearance in the game, so I just want to make sure that he, you know, gets good screen time here. Right where this banana peel is, or banana is for that matter, this is where you see your final bonus level. Now, interesting fact, I'm sure you guys have been keeping track, I actually am using the same recording right now to record all the levels. I have 2 Granby tokens already, so I'm going to try to see if I can get a third one here. We can play through the Granby bonus level, since that's the only one we haven't seen yet. So, gotta concentrate, and I failed. But you know what? That's okay. I'll probably just show it here at the end of the video, in all likelihood. I mean, I've already got everything but just one, so there'll be one instance where I fail. But in any case, this is Rope Bridge Rumble in a nutshell, and not only are we saying goodbye to Winky here in this game, but pretty much for ever and ever, because he has yet to come back in the game ever since then. So let's go ahead and hop away off of our noble frog steed. So that's Rope Bridge Rumble. Now, of course, before we leave this level and go to the boss, there is a photograph that I will show you how to get, or at least I'll show you where it is in this game, and in that game exclusive to that level. So let me go ahead and cut over there, and I will see you all there in just a moment. Okay guys, here we are in the GBA version of Rope Bridge Rumble. So what you want to do, of course, is head back over this way after you've completed the first bonus level, where the armies are at. You'll see the photograph floating high above here. You can just leap high and get it, and have no problems there whatsoever, as long as you don't have to worry about the armies rolling into you and making you lose Winky at all. But that should be all she wrote for Rope Bridge Rumble. So we'll go ahead and get back to the SNES version, and conclude by fighting the boss. I'll see you guys there in just a moment. Okay guys, so I figured since I already have 2 Granby tokens to begin with, I'll go ahead and collect a third, and I'll show you guys the bonus level. So it's actually more convenient that we're playing this bonus level anyways here in Gorilla Glacier, since, as you can see, Granby's bonus level takes place in the terrain here in the icy mountains. So what you're going to have to note here is that you really have like very little time to try to get as many tokens as you can. You really need to just be motoring, and I think I'm going to just make it. We'll see here. Oh man, look at that. Just barely made it. As you can tell, you don't get very much time, and even then I think getting the amount of tokens I got was really pushing it. So be ready to jump a lot and get yourself back to, or at least have yourself any chance of getting the bonus token right there. But decided to go ahead and get them in the first level, Snow Barrel Blast, since it's much easier to get Granby tokens here. So anyways, I will see you guys over at the map here in just a moment. We'll continue on. Okay, so after collecting the photograph, or what would have been the photograph in Rope Bridge Rumble in the GBA version, and after playing through Granby's bonus level as well, just for a little side feature, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Gorilla Glacier here in this version by playing through the boss fight, Really Naughty Rampage. So let's get at it. Or get after it, I should say. Alright, so Really Naughty, just so you should know, he is basically a maroon color swap of the Millstone Naughty, and is just a higher jumping version, very naughty. Basically what he does is after you hit him, he basically just does one gigantic leap, and then he hops further. And he will add on to his gigantic leaps every time you hit him, and he hops even further. So you still have to hit him 5 times. So of course, since I hit him 3 times here, he will hop, do 3 gigantic leaps, and then he will hop far. And it's amazing how much ground he covers here with his hops. It's insane. So after he jumps 4 times, twice, he will leap absolutely outrageously far, and then you just have to hit him 1 more time, and then you'll get him. So that's how you defeat him in this game. Let me show you how you defeat him in the GBA version. Alright, switch out here. Okay, so really naughty in this version is the blue color swap instead, and his attack pattern is a little bit different. Every time you leap on his head, he will do 1 large hop, and then as you can see, with the stalactites that are above will fall down, and they can harm you if you don't watch out. So he'll repeat this pattern. Nonetheless, it's a little bit more predictable. Thankfully, he doesn't hop nearly any further at all as he does this, so just keep that in mind, but just make sure you avoid the stalactites. Just hit him a total of 5 times. You should have no problem defeating him here. And like I said, I honestly think he's actually easier in this version of the game compared to the SNES version. But I digress. Are my old eyes playing tricks? I'm sure I haven't seen that beaver, or I'm sure I have seen that beaver before. What am I talking about? Where could it have been? Grab the banana and give it to me. Head down the mountain to the factory. Alright, Cranky, you got it. Okay, now normally I would go ahead and cut back to the SNES version right then and there, but we're not going to do that just yet. In fact, we're not even going to go ahead and start, or we're not even going to start world number 6, at least not in this version of the game anyways. There is one other thing I do want to show you here. It's just a little special thing that is only exclusive to the GBA version. So what we want to do, let's go back to Congo Jungle, first world of the game, and we're going to go to Jungle Hijinks for a moment. You see we enter out of DK's Treehouse here. Here's a really cool, interesting, special thing in this game. Go back inside DK's Treehouse, and when you go inside, you're going to see something interesting. Hey, it's very naughty. And he was trying to get after our bananas again for some odd reason, and I have no idea why. But anyways, he's just there briefly. He sees you, freaks out, runs. Or bounces, I guess you could say, technically, or leaps and bounces. One of the two, whichever you prefer. He leaves the treehouse, never to be seen again in this game. And just keep in mind, this only happens, or this can only happen once per save file. So once you trigger this cutscene, then that's it. But I just thought it was pretty interesting to show you all. So, because like I said, this is only exclusive to the GBA version of the game, of course. So. That said, we are done, so now let's get back to the SNES version and we'll conclude this episode here today. Alright, so that will conclude this video as we finish off Gorilla Glacier, and you all get to see a pretty cool feature that's unique to the GBA version, which I thought was pretty interesting anyway. So we will stop there and continue on with world number 5 in the next episode. So if you guys like what you saw in this video, please subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments below, and when I see you all next time, we will continue on with our adventure as we go to the factory world of Crimcroc Industries Incorporated, or Crimcroc Industries Inc. if you like the short version. So until then, this is Shadow HB3 signing out, telling you guys, as always, stay perky. I will see you next time.